Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Now, why do I say morning? Well, because that happens to be the time that it is right now. But in essence, really what it is it's now. And that beautiful opening there is a reminder for you, for me, that we get to choose what every now means. We get to choose how we're going to maneuver through every one of these nows. Okay, guess what? Here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Oh, here's another one and another one. Oh, we just went through another one and another one. Oh, wait a minute. It's always now. Are you getting the picture here? It's always now. You get to choose. You always have a choice. Write that in your notes again. I've had you write this many, many times. Write it again. It's always now. And then also, I always have a choice now. And you do. How you're thinking now leads to what's going to happen in your life on the outside. It's what leads to the effect. You want to determine a wonderful destiny for you. Guess where it starts? It starts here and now. It doesn't matter about the past. Say, like you've been on the wrong track and things have been happening the way that you want them to happen. That doesn't matter. What matters is what? How you're going to think when? Now. See, because right now is when you can change everything in your life. It may be a fact that things aren't happening the way that you want them to be. It may be a fact that there's more month at the end of the money. It may be a fact that your lifestyle is nowhere near what you would love it to be. It might be a fact that there's some negativity that's constantly happening in your life. You see, all of that stuff doesn't matter. That's all the world without. That's all the effect, which was caused by past thinking. Did you catch that? Caused by past thinking. See, you can change that. You could change the outcomes simply by locking into the inner world, which is where it all starts, which is what you have control over, which is what's connected to the universe, God, source, whatever you believe. It's all the same. Remember, God, the universe, source, moves to and through the individual. And the amount of that beautiful source that moves through the individual through you is dependent on the vibratory state you're in, which is how you're thinking. And again, guess who has that choice? It's you. It's always you. It's always been you. It's always going to be you. It's really interesting when you start to dive into this and realize, oh my gosh, I'm always at the center. I'm always the one that's in the center of your world, right? You are the one that's always the center of your world. And even though you're going through things with lots of other people, you're still going through it alone in your mind. Now, that could be scary when you first think about it. It's like, wow. But it starts to open up something big and beautiful. And that is, oh my gosh, you're powerful. Very powerful. So again, as we opened up this meeting, as always with every one of these calls, okay, fine, I could share that with you and give you that knowledge, but it's one thing to just collect it and memorize it and to think about it. It's a different thing to use it, to apply it, to move it around in your mind. See, that's when the change is going to happen. And that's what we do here in everything that we do at Elevitality. These calls here in Master Your Mind are literally to help you to master your mind. And then we have other things that we do together, both Dolly and I, of where we've went into the use of this information, learning from who we believed and felt was the best, which was Bob Proctor, and we used it in our lives. And that's what we want you to use for you in your life. Why? Because we see the great outcomes that have happened because of this understanding of who we are and how our marvelous, miraculous, incredible, powerful minds work. And we hope that that is being impressed upon you and that you're using it too in your life. Now, I want to share something really, really beautiful. I was perusing through this beautiful gem, The Hidden Power. And there was a beautiful little section that I underlined that I want to share with you. And it ties into what I just shared with you in that opening monologue. And it ties into not being controlled by the outer world. And that, unfortunately, is a habit that the overwhelming majority of us have. Why? Because we've been conditioned to think from our senses, from what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Crazy, awesome, stick person. Oh my gosh. And by the way, these are in the process of being produced right now. So get ready, okay? Because we have these ready for you. Woohoo, right? They're super, super cool. But anyways, it's very important that you shift that habitual way of thinking to being controlled by what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, by the evidence of the senses, by what has happened, by the precedent. See, all of those things are all effect. So I'm going to read a little bit of this here to you because it ties beautifully into everything that we've been studying here in the master key system. Okay, now pay attention to this. Now remember, use it too. We must never lose sight of the old world saying that a truth on one plane is the truth on all. She's saying to remove that. Now remember, we live on 3 planes of understanding simultaneously. You have the spiritual, the intellectual, and then the physical. Spiritual is the thoughts, intellectual are the ideas, and the physical are the results. Okay, very important. And he says we must lose sight of that saying that a truth on one plane is a truth on all. If a principle exists at all, it exists universally. We must not allow ourselves to be misled by appearances. Be misled by appearances. We must remember that the perceptible results of the working of any principle consists of 2 factors. 2. The principle itself and the active factor. Now, this is some pretty deep stuff. Oh my gosh. Thomas Troward. Woo, so good. Now, okay, the principle itself and the active factor. Now, and the subject matter on which it acts, or the passive factor. So the active factor, the passive factor. And that while the former is invariable, the latter is variable. Now, what he's talking about here is, something's fixed, but one part gets to change. See, when the result is there, the result is there. It's done. But you got to remember that the variable part that led to that was the movement in the mind. It could be a completely different result if the variable part is moved around. And that the operation of the same invariability upon different variables must necessarily produce a variable of a variety of results. Now, again, what's he talking about here? He's talking about how you can deliver different outcomes, but when the outcome is delivered, it is fixed, it is done, but it happened because of the movement inside. In other words, it could be a different result provided there's movement from the inside. So just because your results are what they are and that they are invariable, that they are fixed, doesn't mean that it has to remain the same, even though it is done. You can change it to be something different, but in order for you to change it to be something different, so that it's a different invariable thing, guess what's got to change? You got to move differently in the mind. Now think about that for you, how much you're earning. You want to earn more. See, whatever you're earning, it is done already. But don't be deceived by the appearance, because a lot of people, when they see the appearance, they say, well, that's just the way it is. That's the way it's always going to be. Well, you're right. You know why? Because you're not changing the variable part. You're not moving different thoughts inside. Of course, it's going to be the same if you give your attention to the evidence of the senses. If that's all you give your attention to, you're going to get more of the same. Why? Because whatever you give attention to, you get more of multiplied. Now, again, really grab onto what he's saying here. He's talking about this power in you, and it ties into the opening that I give for every one of these calls of good morning, great morning, wonderful morning. The reminder that you get to choose. See, that's the part. The movement inside is what matters the most. because that's what externalizes as outcomes. And guess who has control over that for you in your life? Go like this. Point to yourself. This can change everything for you, provided you use it. Now, before we proceed to go even deeper into this, into the power of you, and to go into this beautiful gem, the Master Key System, if you're watching this live stream on social media platforms and you want to dive deeper into this, to get more of this, to watch the recordings, to go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind. You will thank yourself later. Just ask anybody who's going through this. They thank themselves. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did this. All right.